You know, a couple years back, I was struck by an interesting paradox. How could I go to Taco Bell or some fast food joint and eat 2,000 calories? I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, had over 2,000 calories of wings. But if I cooked food at home, I could almost never eat more than usually 500 or 600. That was with marinade, with olive oil, with all this stuff. I was actually struck by how is that even possible? Well, I later learned quite a lot about how food's processed and how different macronutrients like proteins, fats, and carbs affect satiety. In other words, how full you feel. And I decided to do a little home experiment to prove just how dramatic the differences can be. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the 21-day Tiny Habit Nutritional Challenge, day and habit number 17. Now check out this experiment I did here because I'm pretty sure you will never forget it. So it started with me taking a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos. And I ended up crushing them up. I weighed them first, right? It was 150 calories, 29 grams. And then I crushed them up like this, okay? You can see they're the same exact weight. They're just crushed up a little bit so you can see them a little bit smaller. And then I had 150 calories worth of chicken, which is 5 ounces, which is actually, more chicken than I eat at the average meal. And then I set them side by side. So these are actually the exact same number of calories. The chicken and the Doritos. But what's kind of crazy is that eating that much chicken would stuff me compared to that 150 calories of Doritos, which basically, if I just crush those up, that's like a little palmful I could just inhale. I could inhale 6 of those while I'm watching a TV show, just totally unconsciously. I couldn't inhale 6 times 5, 30 ounces of chicken, which is almost 2 pounds. I could not just inhale that. So how is that even possible? Well, I did another comparison. This time, I had 3 full bell peppers. Again, these are 150 calories. And I chopped them up. So those are 3 full peppers. You can see them, how big they are compared to my hand. And I put them next to some Doritos. So consider this. All of those peppers on the left are still less calories than that small handful of Doritos. But, just for the sake of argument, we'll say they're roughly the same, okay? The peppers, roughly the same as the Doritos. We'll leave it at that. And then I took it a bit further. What about versus different cookies? Now, obviously, this is a dramatic comparison. I'm comparing vegetables, very low in calories, high in nutrients, versus cookies. This is not like rocket science, but it's really interesting to see the comparison. How many Oreos would it take to match those peppers in calories? Well, those 3 Oreos are 160 calories, while those 3 peppers are about 135 calories. Think about how many of those peppers you could eat until you're full versus how many Oreos you could eat till you're full. I could eat 12 Oreos, easy, at a meal. So if that's 160 calories, multiply that by 4, you've got 12. That's over 500 calories right there, maybe over 600. Now, what if we looked at something different, like Frosted Flakes, one of my favorite childhood cereals? I took 150 calories, roughly 41 grams, smashed it up, and again, put it beside the peppers. Look at what that looks like without milk. I could easily do double that, realistically, in a big bowl of Frosted Flakes in the morning. So you can imagine how much fuller you would be with the real food peppers versus the sugary breakfast. What about the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups? Those 2 peanut butter cups surpassed that whole thing of peppers. What about M&Ms? Those M&Ms right there, what is that? 3, 6, 9, 12, I don't know, you do the math, 30, 35 of them. Those surpass those peppers as well. Okay. Now, obviously, I'm talking about a few separate things. Like, what about an actual meal, though? I'm comparing junk food to peppers. What does a whole meal look like calorie-wise versus sugar or a snack? Well, check it out here. I made a typical meal for me. This was my lunch, which stuffed me. You don't see the marinade, the barbecue sauce, and the chicken there, but that's 5 ounces of chicken with 8 ounces of sweet potato and almost 5 ounces of peppers, bell peppers. Here's what a full meal compares to Doritos. You imagine the 2 of those in your stomach. You just think right now, immediate gut check, intuition. Which one makes you more full? What about Oreos? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9.5 Oreos to that full meal. What about Reese's Peanut Butter Cups? That's 6 and I think 1/3. Frosted Flakes, that one's looking like a lot. I couldn't eat that many Frosted Flakes in a meal. And then M&Ms. And then obviously what it all looks like together versus a meal. You get the picture though. That's a lot. I mean, that junk food, it's pretty easy for me to put down 6 Reese's peanut butter cups. It's pretty easy for me to put down some of the Frosted Flakes, maybe not that many, but certainly compared to that massive amount of peppers. And as you look a bit more at this thing, you're kind of like, all right, cool, Alex. Well, what does that really mean for me? What does looking at these peanut butter cups mean for me regarding these bell peppers? The whole point, all I'm trying to illustrate here, is the power of eating the right foods. Your tiny habit for today is what I call the what, not how much principle. And it's based on a simple premise. The fact is, you don't need to count calories to lose weight. The average person does not need to count calories to lose weight. If you make better choices about what you eat, very often the right how much will take care of itself. Is this a perfect science? No, of course not. But it works so well that none of my clients ever calorie count. We focus on the high level principle here. And again, if you're eating the right whole foods, the right ratios of proteins and carbs and veggies, you're naturally going to eat generally within the natural calorie range. And that's because we're not designed to count anything. Imagine if animals had to count their meals beyond based on how they feel. Well, they'd all be fat and obese and they'd be dead. And there'd be no such thing as evolution because none of them would have made it this far. And we wouldn't have either. So my point is, we don't need to count calories. It's not natural. It's not necessary day to day. And there are better ways to do it using this what, not how much principle. Now, we've already gone into what to eat. But this is me really driving home this fundamental philosophy and really just trying to burn it into your retinas. I want to burn it into your skull that you never forget this comparison. Anytime you feel the desire to just cut calories, which sucks and sucks and sucks more, never gets better, change the right what. So I want you to leave a comment below here today. And I'm not going to ask you for anything specific. I just want to know your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts on this experiment. Did that help you realize something new that maybe you didn't realize before? Make sure you tell me below. Then I want you to click the monk dude right there to subscribe. You'll get the next day when it's out. I'm losing track at this point, so I'm going to just say the next video rather than looking stupid and say the wrong number. Click on the subscribe. Come visit me over at modernhealthmonk.com. Enter your email to get that guide, 5 daily habits to help you lose your next 10 pounds. And if you like this kind of approach, go check out my book, Master the Day, on Amazon.com. Again, if you send me a receipt after buying it, I'll give you a 2-hour bonus video training course for free, and an hour of that is a sit-down success story with a student and friend, Mike. Just send it to alexander@modernhealthmonk.com. So go do those things now. Comment below. Let me know your reaction. What are your thoughts to this? Is it helpful? Is it not helpful? Subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next day of the 21-day challenge.